YouTube, what's up? Josh here, Momentum Productions. Welcome to another live stream where we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. We'll talk a little bit about how to travel with essential filmmaking gear, how to pack it up in a certain way so you fit a lot into a small space. But we'll wait for a few people to tune in here and we can get started. This is a pretty exciting topic that a lot of people have asked me to talk about. So let's get to it as soon as some people start tuning in. All right. What's up, Doghouse Jazz Bar? What's up, man? How you doing? Cool. Let's wait for a few more people to tune in here. Okay, cool. All right, so basically, so let's talk about how I travel. I'll show you exactly what I take with me. So if I want to be minimalistic, I take with me my DJI Crane gimbal. I take 2 lenses, an A7R2, and some batteries. I don't take anything else with me. This all fits into my signature 13 series bag from Think Tank Photo. So it's a rather small bag. Let's go ahead and take a look at my travel bag. Let me go grab it. Dun, 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 dun. So here is my travel bag. This is something I don't only take to the airport, but this is something I take with me just, for a walk, maybe to the park or something, because this is all my essential gear in one little bag, right? So what do I have in this bag? Let's, no, that's not a good angle. Let me just pull it out for you. So in here I have my DJI Crane gimbal, right? I have my Sony A7R2 with a 16 to 35 lens attached. All right. I have my rocket fish. This cleans off any of the dust from my sensor or my lens. This is very important. Cleaning cloth, tabletop tripod for my DJI Crane, some lens caps, body caps. I also have my 24 to 70 in here as well. Someone's asking, do I still use my glide cam? Of course I do. Of course I do. I have some more, this is the continuation of the DJI Crane. This is the battery compartment. I have some extra battery chargers in there. And then in my front pocket, I keep some extra memory cards and some extra batteries as well. So that's my essential camera gear. I feel like you need to take your best camera with you when you travel. Take your best camera with you, along with, if your bag allows for it, along with 2 of your favorite lenses, right? So 2 of your favorite lenses, and some sort of stabilizer with you. If you don't have an electronic gimbal, try to find a way to bring your glide cam with you. Hopefully you do have a glide cam or some other sort of stabilizer that gives you good footage, because there's a lot of stabilizers out there that don't do a good job of stabilizing footage. So keep that in mind. So yeah, that's my travel gear. Let me know if you guys have any questions about it. I'll talk about why I chose this gear over a lot of other gear. So when you're traveling, let's say you're going to Europe, or if you live in Europe, let's say you're going to the US, you want to have the most versatile camera setup as possible. I have an A7S and I have a Panasonic GH4. Why did I choose the Sony A7R2 to take with me during travels? It's because it has the It's because it has the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that is that it's great in low light. It's not as good as the A7S, and it's great in picture quality. So it gives me unbelievable photos, like the best photos ever. But it also gives me a little bit of that, that some of that video function that the A7S gives me, and that's that low light capability. It doesn't have full pixel readout like the A7S. The A7S is geared way more towards video than the A7R2, but the A7R2 still delivers me great picture and overall, it's a more versatile camera compared to the A7S. And I brought a stabilizer with me, like the Jewin Crane. It's tiny. It's a lot smaller than a glide cam. I traveled to Australia with a pretty large glide cam once, and that was a big pain for me. So yeah, that was tough. Traveling with a glide cam overseas was very, very tough. I had to check my bag with my glide cam in there. It's made out of carbon fiber, so I was scared it was going to break. And I had to disassemble the glide cam. So it was a big, big ordeal traveling with a glide cam. With a Jewin Crane, I can literally put in my smallest shoulder bag, which is the Signature 13 bag from Think Tank Photo. Let's answer some questions here. How do you spell the crane name you are using, and what made you decide on that crane? I don't know what you're trying. What do you mean? How do you spell the crane name? Jewin? Is that what you're talking about? Jewin is spelled like this. That's how you spell Jewin. What made me decide on the crane? The footage I've seen, the versatility of it, the ergonomics of it. It has its own app. It has all these cool features. And overall, because it was the most commonly bought stabilizer, I go by that a lot, because if it was a bad stabilizer, not a lot of people would buy it. Usually best sellers are the best products. Usually, not all the time, but usually. And why are they the best products? It's because they're a bargain. You get more than what you pay for. And that's exactly what I got with the Jewin Crane. I got more than what I paid for. Obviously, there's way better stabilizers that can have a heavier payload, like the Came TV Argo. I have that as well, but that I take with me on more professional shoots. Like I shot a short film over the weekend. So that was fun actually. 48-hour film shoot. And I used the Came TV Argo for that because I needed a professional rig with dual handles, remote control. So the Came TV Argo was in charge of that stability for that shoot. But yeah, the reason why I bought the Jewin Crane is because it's so tiny. It gives me great stability. It's very easy to use, very portable, and I can literally, with that tabletop tripod, I can set it down anywhere I want. And because a lot of people have it, that's a really big factor that you have to look into. For example, you wouldn't go into a restaurant that doesn't have a lot of people sitting inside, because that means that the restaurant is not good, right? So it's kind of the same thing with stabilization platforms. You're not going to get something that's not that popular, because there's a reason why it's not that popular. So think about that. Would you ever try to do a Skye replacement in a video? What do you mean Skye replacement? Doghouse Jazz Bar. Great, I was thinking about buying the exact one. Are you talking about the Came TV Argo or the Jewin Crane? Doghouse Jazz Bar. Do you edit 4K on a laptop when traveling? Yes, I do edit in 4K. A lot of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, I downscale to 1080p because I crop in on a lot of my shots just to get rid of some bad corners or some, just because I want to get some close-ups. I try to shoot in 4K as much as I can, and then that allows me to zoom in post-production and cut out some things that I want to not see. Doghouse is asking the best laptop. Well, I'm using a MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, 2.9 quad core, 16 gigabyte RAM, 4 gigabyte VRAM, 512 SSD. You know, all the bells and whistles, all the things that I need. Masiek, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Any thoughts about being a perfectionist about your work and being stressful that your film video won't be good enough for you? Sorry, I always talk tough stuff. Good question, man. Listen, I'm a perfectionist. In a lot of my videos, I have focus issues. In a lot of my videos, I have sound issues. You have to know when to let go. I've been trying to edit something very small, and it's taken me hours and hours and hours, and there was no way I could have fixed it. So I just said, oh man, I still gotta upload it because it's good content. So I still uploaded it. So you have to understand when to let go. If it's an unfixable issue that you're having, then don't try to fix that unfixable issue. Try to get it the best you can and let it go. You're going to make mistakes. I've made a ton of mistakes on my YouTube videos. If you go through some of my tutorial videos, some things are out of focus, some things, the sound is weird. It happens. It happens. As long as the content is there, as long as the content is good, those mistakes can fly by. But you will experience mistakes. No matter how good of a cinematographer you are going to experience mistakes. Look at any movie right now. You're always going to find a mistake somewhere. If you really pay close attention, you're going to find mainly the biggest mistakes with movies is continuity. So the biggest mistakes you're going to find is, oh, how did that subject go from there to there? Like, there's always continuity issues in movies. So that's a big issue. So and even focus can be sometimes a big issue as well in movies. So it happens. You have to let go. If it's unfixable, just let go before you drive yourself mad. Talking about traveling, how do you travel with your Mavic Pro drone? Did you have any issue with airport security? So when you travel with your Mavic Pro, I strongly, recommend taking it out of your bag. Disconnect all the batteries, put them in the tray, and put them in through the machine. I haven't gone to the airport with the Mavic Pro. I will be going to the airport in September with the Mavic. So, but I know for a fact that you do need to take it out of your bag and along with the batteries and put them in a separate tray, along with the rest of my camera equipment. I bought 3 new big batteries yesterday. These Sony style batteries are pretty big. 8,800 milliamp hours. I'm gonna have to take those out and put them in a tray, and it's nuts. I really don't like this new security system. Daniel Charlton, hi mate. Oh wait, hang on. Prinyak is asking which is better, RAW or JPEG files? RAW files, because that way you have more color data to work with and more data in general to work with in Photoshop and other editing software. Daniel's asking, hi mate, just joined in. So I've been thinking about getting the G1 for my Lumix G80, but it's the money that's putting me off on the decision. I've already used a stabilizer, but I want a 3-axis now. Is it easy to get grips with it at first? Are there cheaper rivals of the same quality in the same area? How easy it is to transport and travel with? So listen, is it worth the price? Yes, I absolutely love my G1 crane. Are there better stabilizers out there? Yes, there are. Are there better stabilizers than it in the same price range? I don't think so. But are there better stabilizers in general that are double the cost? Yeah. But if you're looking for around the $600 mark, I think this is the best stabilizer you can buy. And it fits in this little bag along with camera with a lens attached and another lens and some other accessories. So I love my crane. I love it. I take it with me everywhere I go. I bought it mainly for my own personal use because I like going to the beach. I like to capture things, and I just take the Jewin crane with me everywhere I go. I don't necessarily use it on professional shoots because it does miss a lot of features that I would need on a professional shoot, like an area to mount a follow focus, wireless video transmission, dual handle system, remote system, heavier payload capacity. So those are some things I have missing on the Jewin crane, but they didn't put that on there because it's so small. It makes sense why they didn't put that on there. But I have another gimbal for that, and that's the Came TV Argo. So I have best of both worlds. I have my professional side, I have my personal side. So the Jewin crane is there for me when I travel, when I want to get beautiful stability without having to take a huge case with me everywhere. That's why I bought it. Is it easy to get grips with at first? It does have a learning curve. Not as big as a traditional manual glide cam, but it does have a learning curve. But I made tutorials showing you exactly what you need to know about the Jewin crane. They're short tutorials. They're 5-minute tutorials. I think I made 4 or 5 of them so far. More are coming. You watch those tutorials, you're going to get unbelievable footage with it. I promise you. So you need to practice with it, but is the practicing easy? Yeah, I would say so. An hour every day will get you amazing shots within 2 weeks. That's all you need. 2 weeks, hour a day with the Jewin crane. Done. I've had experience with stabilization systems for over 5 years already. And the first one I got was probably the worst system you can get. It was the Optico SteadyVid Pro. It was a manual, like, glide cam type thing. It looked like a Steadicam Merlin. It had a little arc. That thing was the worst thing I ever purchased, along with a Flycam. Worst thing I ever purchased. But they taught me. It's actually kind of good to buy the worst equipment because then it teaches you how to make it the better equipment. So it took me 5 hours just to balance it for the first time. 5 hours. And then using it took me weeks, even months to perfect. So, you know, I've been through hell and back when it comes to stabilization systems. If you look at my footage, like the Came TV Argo footage or the Jewin crane footage that I shot for my review videos, you'll notice that you don't see any up and down movements in my footage. Yet I run, I jump, but you don't see the camera moving up and down. You know, that weird up and down movement some people get when walking. You don't see any of that in my footage, ever. And the reason why you don't see that is because I came up with a technique to do with my feet and my arms, which doesn't allow for that up and down movement. You don't want that seen in your footage. People think that you have to buy extra rigs or a vest or this or that or this or that. You don't. You are that accessory that can get rid of all of that up and down movement. You don't need any vest. You don't need any system. The only time you would need a vest is if you're shooting for a very long time and you don't want to get tired too quickly. Then you use a vest system. You put the glide cam on the vest, and boom. All right, that's it. Masiek says, yeah, there are even Polish series where Guy looks up continuity issues. Yeah, definitely. A little laggy on the comments there, sorry. Doghouse Jazz Bar. Putting excitement into a video is a constant quest. It is. It is. But keep working with it. I find that, kind of babbling here. I find that if you edit with the song, and hopefully it's like, use the song as a blueprint for your video. That's how I was able to edit my Rob Rich's videos. And Rob Rich's videos, he's a professional fitness trainer. The idea with his videos, and I think fitness and motivational videos are very difficult. One of the most very difficult to type of content to help inspire people. The goal of those videos is to have people go work out after. Like, they need to see the video, feel pumped, and then go for the arm workout, go for the leg workout. So I choose music that's boom, 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 hard beat, hard melody, and I make the cuts go along with the beat. I raise the volume of the music, drop the volume when he's speaking. Like, I developed a way to edit these videos so that when you watch it, you feel pumped about the video and you want to go work out. That's the whole idea behind these videos. When you're making a motivational video, you have to inspire people. So when people watch that video, they have to feel like, oh, wow, I'm going to stop sleeping till 3 p.m. every day and go out and do something with my life. So when you create that movement, and how to create that movement is entirely up to you. I can only give you little bits of advice, but you have to develop your own editing style. I was able to do that by using music as a blueprint to help me edit the videos. So use the music to inspire you. Use color correction too, because color correction does a lot. Use quotes in your videos. Use stock footage if you want. I rarely use stock footage, but if I have to use it, if I have to get certain footage that I can't capture on my own, yes, I get stock footage. So that's a crucial part. Don't ever rush the process. Don't rush the process, otherwise the quality will suffer. Prinyak, while shooting with the Mavic Pro, can you shoot on 4K and transfer it to 1080p? Is it best to do it or shoot at 1080 and edit at the same time? I think you're talking about downscaling. Well, it all depends on your, what you want to get out of it. The reason why I don't like to shoot too much on the Mavic Pro in 4K is because it doesn't have the 60 frames per second option. But do you get better picture quality shooting at 4K? Yes. Will you get better picture quality shooting at 4K and then downscaling to 1080p rather than just shooting at 1080p? Yes, you will get better footage downscaling. So if you know for a fact you don't need slow motion footage, shoot in 4K. Always shoot in 4K when you know you don't need that slow motion. If you have 4K at 60, shoot at 4K at 60. But right now, I'm waiting for the A7S Mark III. Hopefully, that's going to have 4K at 60. And that's what I'll be. That's my new shooting format. 4K 60. Daniel Charlton, what would you say the negatives of the crane system? So there's two negatives, Daniel, on the crane that I found so far. My Came TV Argo, what's really unique about that gimbal is that I'm able to manually position the motors or the roll arm or the tilt motor, anything I want manually by hand while the motors are still operating. So I'm able to adjust the horizon with my hands, hold the motor for about 2 seconds, boom, it's gonna stay in that position. I wish that same feature was on the Jewin crane. Okay, that's one. Two, the app. The app is very buggy. It's not, maybe not buggy, but the app is not user-friendly. I don't like the calibration process. The images that they show you to replicate in order to perform the calibration process are useless. I made a tutorial on how to calibrate your Jewin crane gimbal, so watch that. I try to make it easier for you guys to understand how to calibrate. The app is the biggest thing for me. Regarding stability, it's fantastic. I love how stable it is. I have no complaints there. Build quality, fantastic. Battery life, fantastic. I would just say the biggest two issues, or at least the biggest issue, is the app. Voice cracked. Don't have enough water. And I like that feature on the Came TV Argo where I can manually position the motors by just using my hands. I really wish they incorporated that feature into the Jewin crane. That's something I really wanted to see. Spetsovich says, I got a Lang P4S and a G85. Should I use extra weight on top? I don't know the G85. I don't know that camera. I think it's Panasonic, I believe, right? So balance your system. Feel how it balances. I don't know if you need to add extra weight or not. I don't know the camera. I don't know how much it weighs. Just balance it as best you can and see how it performs. If you notice that the camera is too, if it's not top heavy enough, yes, add the weight. Pet Spetsovich says, I get swaying drunk walking in my footage. Did you watch one of my latest GlideCam videos where I troubleshoot GlideCam issues? Watch that video and I talk about how to get rid of that. If you watched every single GlideCam tutorial I've made, then we'll talk. Alright? Any more questions? Doghouse Jazzbar, do you have a reference shot length? An example, 5 or 6 seconds? Now, let me try and elaborate your question. Are you asking how long do I keep a shot on a screen for? For how many seconds? Can you elaborate on that? Daniel Charlton, with experience with the G80, the British version, it's 650 grams. Okay. And it can be a real problem because it is so light, so it's best to put a weight on top. 650 grams, that's about, I'm trying to convert it to pounds, so it's about almost 1.25 pounds, I would say. Almost 1.25 pounds. So yeah, that's a little too light for the P4S. I think the weight limit starts at 2.5 or 3 pounds and goes up, but 1.25 seems pretty light. So yeah, start adding accessories rather than weights. Weights don't look good. They don't look professional. So add accessories like a mic, a light, something to weigh it down. Mastiek is asking, could you somehow notify us before the stream, like announce you will be doing it on Facebook or something? I could. I need to figure that out because it all depends on my mood and if I'm available or not. And sometimes I don't know until like 5 minutes before. But yeah, I'll do my best next time to notify you. If you're on my Facebook, Momentum Productions on Facebook, I'll notify my Facebook people. Definitely. All right. Thank you for that request. I'll definitely do that. You know what? Let me send out a notification. That's a really good idea. Cool. Here we go. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, it's posted. Good stuff. All right. All right. More questions. Let's see what else came in. Daniel Charlton, the G80 is between weights on the gimbals too. It could work on the mobile version, but you're using a good lens. It'd be better to use with the crane. All right, cool. I want to know, Akhil Krishna, I want to know about the Canon 60D's tracking focus. Do your research, bro. I left Canon 3-4 years ago, so I'm not following Canon anymore, unfortunately. Doghouse Jazz Bar. The change between shots, I have started counting the length of shots on TV and films to be really quick, 5, 6, or 7 seconds. I mean, yeah, again, it's up to you. But if you compare movies from the 50s and 60s, the changes didn't happen as quick, and I'll explain to you why. People's attention spans have dropped. The average attention span of a human being now is 1 second lower than a goldfish. So now if people don't see images changing quickly, or if scenes don't change quickly, the viewer gets bored. I get bored, unfortunately. My attention span is, when it comes down to like watching stuff on TV, it's not high. I have to see change quickly. I don't like static shots. I don't like long shots. I want quick cuts. I want dynamic footage. That's just me. Um, so dynamics, quick shots, yes, I agree. Roz, hi bro. I do really need a steady cam to shoot stable videos. What do you think? Um, what do you think? Canon has better autofocus or Sony? So this is a really good question. When it comes down to autofocus, Canon is phenomenal. Sony is phenomenal. It's tough, man. Sony right now with the new A9, I think, is slightly ahead of Canon. They developed some new ridiculous autofocus system. Canon is still using the same autofocus system they've been using for a while now. Sony has taken it a step further. I switched to Sony simply because of the 4K recording, the size factor, and the features. I felt very confident switching to Sony. Canon just didn't do it for me anymore. Their cameras were becoming very outdated and they weren't doing anything about it. So switch to Sony and you'll be happier. Masik says, I hate Canon so much. I want to switch to Sony so hard, but I must wait like a year till I get all the money. Yeah. Don't hate Canon though. Canon's great. Canon is great. Sony used to be horrible with cameras too. Maybe not with prosumer cameras. I mean, like DSLRs. They used to make very bad cameras. Now they're making the best cameras in the world, in my opinion. And now they're light and easy to travel with. So. All right. Any more questions, guys? It's a good live stream. A lot of questions today. Canon was great. Canon still is great, but they could be better. They need to compete more with Sony and what else is out there. So, an interesting rumor from Nikon. Sony is dropping out from making their sensors. They are not going to be supplying Nikon with their sensors anymore. And now Nikon will be developing the first ever curved sensor. Curved. What do you think about that? I'm a little shocked to have, I know that we see curved TVs now and all that stuff, but like having a curved sensor, lenses will probably have to be different. Like, it's a little nuts. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little nuts. So so Doghouse is asking, what does a curved sensor mean? So curved sensor, that's probably gonna, if everything goes well with that kind of technology, that means there's not gonna be any vignetting. Focus will be equal throughout the whole entire frame. There won't be any soft focus in the center and then strong focus on the edges, or vice versa. My only question is, how do they plan on getting light evenly throughout the whole sensor? Because if you're going to have a curve of some sort, light is going to hit a part of that sensor quicker than it is the rest of the sensor. I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but I don't know. Curved sensor technology, what do you guys think? Weatherby Photo is asking, I'm using a Fuji X-T2 and a Fuji 50 to 140 zoom lens. Total weight 3.5 pounds. Do you think the Juin will work well with the setup? Yes, it will. The setup works up to 4 pounds. And I'm sure with the firmware update, they can squeeze some more power out of the motors. I don't know why they're not doing that. But I feel like these motors can be a little bit more powerful with the firmware update. I think they need to figure out a way, an algorithm for that to happen. Josh, what do you think about the Canon SL2 200D? I don't follow Canon anymore, so I don't know anything about that camera, unfortunately. Daniel Charlton, at what point do you stop doing free work and start asking clients to pay for your services? Good question. A typical internship lasts about 3 months. So in my opinion, work 3 months, but make sure that you get something out of working for free, first of all. Don't just assume that, oh, I need to do this for free regardless of what the outcome will be. No, it has to benefit you. If you don't gain some sort of knowledge, some sort of wisdom from those 3 months, you leave earlier than that 3 months. So I would say once you have a grasp on common film knowledge, and if you already know how to use certain equipment, if you have proficient knowledge, like you can set up the gear all by yourself, if you can use the gear all by yourself, your internship should be done. So I feel like if you learn how to do those basic things, if you're trying to learn something new and you already know how to use all the camera stuff, again, 3 months is a really good time span to work for free. After that, start getting money. 3 months, I think, is a perfect time. I worked full time for free for months, and eventually the employer started paying me. So, and that employer actually changed my life. If I wouldn't have worked for free for that employer, I would not have any of the gear that I have today. Because then that employer started paying me a lot of money, retainer, and I started saving up, and I started buying more intense equipment. And now I'm having trouble storing all of my equipment. I never would have thought that I would have had this much gear in my life. It's shocking. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm just giving stuff away because I have so much equipment. Yeah, it's to that point. But I will continue buying equipment because I love new technology. I love just playing and messing around with new stuff and trying to improve my videos every day. Doghouse Jazz Bar. It seems a lot more emphasis on wide-angle lenses than long zoom when travel videoing. No, not necessarily. I definitely think that you need to get a wide-angle lens and a long zoom, a telephoto. Honestly, I don't own a telephoto lens. I guess, well, I do have a Canon 28 to 135 with a cropped setting. I can get up to 200 mils. So I guess you could say I have a decent telephoto lens, but I don't travel with it. But if you do have space in your bag, a telephoto is definitely a must, and a wide-angle lens is also definitely a must. But if you can only afford one lens and you can only fit one lens in your bag, a 24 to 70 will cut it. Trust me. I think that's a perfect mid-range zoom that you could ever have, is 24 to 70. Daniel is asking, do you use business cards? What do they look like if you do? Of course I use business cards. My business card has my logo, has my title, phone number, website, and email. You definitely need to have some sort of place where they can find your work without contacting you. What do you think of the DJI Osmo? Apologies if you have already done a video on this. I used to have the Osmo and I sold it. I don't like it. I did not like it. I had it for like 10 months and I sold it. Probably used it maybe 10 times. Unfortunately. Battery life was bad. Stability was great. Camera quality was bad. And just ergonomics, not great at all. I got a Canon 60D with the Yongnuo. Oh, I'm going to buy LED kits from them. 50mm f1.8 lens. I'm using it for my first wedding, but I keep running into one problem. The focus on the lens for the video is bad. How can I fix this? Canon 60D. So you're using a non-native lens, which means it's going to be a manual focus lens constantly. So you have the best way, because it depends on what aperture you want to shoot. If you want to shoot at 1.8, there's not much you can do with focus. You have to set you have to set a focus point and stick to it. But if you want more things to be in focus, you have to drop the aperture, maybe down to like a 12, 12, 14, something like that. More things will be in focus for you. But when you're shooting at 1.8 and you want to continue shooting at 1.8, there's not much you can do with focus. You constantly have to be adjusting or choose a focus point and stick to it. Weatherby photo. How hard is it to set up the crane and switch between lenses with the Juin? I think it's really easy. A change like that would take about 3 minutes for me, maybe less than 3 minutes, since I got pretty good at balancing. So not bad at all. How does the DJI Osmo Plus work in low light conditions? Let me know more detail. Low light on the DJI Osmo is awful. Sorry, not good at all. I used to have the original DJI Osmo. It has the same sensor as the Osmo Plus. Horrible low light, horrible picture quality in general. Doghouse says, I have an Osmo, the battery life is rubbish. It is 1 hour, not even 1 hour if you're lucky. My Juin crane gets me 15, 16 hours with a professional camera mounted. So think about that. I'm out of water, guys. Any more questions? Any more questions? Let me know. Let's answer one more question. And then I got to, I actually have a day off today. So I'm going to go to the gym, wash my car, and yeah, I'm not shooting any videos today. I have a day off, which is good, and yeah. Let me know, by the way, guys, if you have any requests for tutorial videos. I really want to trigger somebody to give me all of these beautiful topics for tutorial videos, because I'm kind of just spitballing what people want, and I really want to just hear from my viewers what specifically you want to be seen on my channel. So let me know. Thank you for all of your videos and help. I'm going to buy the Juin right now. Where should I buy it? B&H dropped their price down to $629. I bought mine on eBay for $579. Check on eBay and Amazon for the best prices. But when you buy, make sure you read the seller's profile. Make sure they're an authorized dealer. Okay? And look at their ratings. Look how many they've sold. All of that stuff. Halvin Wolf is asking for me to do a tutorial on a drone following a moving subject. You got it, bro. Definitely. Definitely. Shoulder rig usage. I don't use a shoulder rig. I have one, but I never use it. So, Roz, what you think is best setup for portrait? Do I need to keep the as low as I can. So yeah, for a portrait, you want a shallow depth of field along with you know, a telephoto lens. So yeah, keep the aperture high. So like a low numbers, just like you said, like a 1.8, 1.6, 1.4. That way you get more light in, you get a shallower depth of field. I like to see tutorials on sharp images with shallow depth of field. You got it, man. You got it. Prinyak, one more videos on Mavic Pro. Wow, okay. What specifically, though? What specifically about the Mavic Pro? I've done a lot of videos on the Mavic Pro, so you need to be more specific what you want seen. Because I've done camera moves, gimbal moves, flight moves. I do have a few more video ideas for the Mavic that I'll be working on next week. Yeah, no, probably this weekend I'll be working on them. So stay tuned for that. Any more questions before we call it a day? Any more? Any more? Any more? More? I've watched all of your, but want more and more, bro. Yeah. All right, I'll get more for you. Whether be photos, yours a smooth cue? No, I have the crane. The crane. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm signing off. Remember, email me with more tutorial ideas. I really want to hear from my subscribers and make sure that I'm producing the content that they want to be seen, that they want to see. So email me some more content, please, more ideas for content, and I'll get right to it. So I cannot wait to see what you guys email me. So here's my email. Email me ideas, please. info@capturethemomentum.com. Email me video ideas, please. I'm asking my subscribers to please email me with tutorial ideas. Don't just send me one. Send me a list of what you want seen. Send me a whole list, like 10, 20 videos. Send me a list of ideas. And I'll pick the best ones, and I'll even give you a shout out for recommending me that idea. So get to it. All right? All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.